Good morning, everybody. We're expecting some strong storms in the Great Plains today, and also some in Florida because of this invest passing through it. That will maybe develop a hurricane or tropical storm. Dexter would be the name in the Gulf of Mexico. And if it stays west longer, it will most likely become a hurricane. But if it doesn't stay west for long, it most likely won't. You can see it on the bottom left of your screen. It's currently pretty weak right now, but it's still crossing over Florida. It's not completely through Florida yet. But it has caused a few flooding issues and tornado warnings in Florida. Besides that, there's also a enhanced case for severe weather today. In Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota are in the highest risk. Nebraska is an enhanced risk, but South Dakota and Minnesota are also in slight risks, and even some of Iowa. There is also a 2% tornado risk today. Let's dig into that. This is the SPC outlook for today, guys. Here's an enhanced risk I was telling you guys about in parts of Nebraska and even a little bit of South Dakota. Here's huge flight risk that goes all up into Wisconsin. It includes some of Iowa, Wisconsin, South Dakota, and also Nebraska are in this slight risk right here. There's a second slight risk also in Wyoming for today. There's a huge marginal risk that goes all the way from back in Utah all the way up into Wisconsin. It is huge marginal risk. There's also a marginal risk rate in near Arizona, where this marginal risk is. There's also 2% tornado risk today. There is one near Wisconsin and Minnesota. There's another one near Nebraska and South Dakota. There's also a 30% hatch wind risk in parts of Nebraska and even some of South Dakota is in this hatched 30% wind risk. This looks like mainly a wind threat today, but tornadoes are still possible if they can get isolated. It most likely will be a QLCS line. Let's look at the hail threat. The hail threat is a 15% chance, which is usual for these type of QLCS threats. You can see it includes the parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even a little bit of Iowa in the 5%. Let's go look at the models. Okay, guys, this is HRRR. This is for today. This is a jet stream for today. You can see a mid-level jet stream. A decent, pretty strong jet stream up here near Minnesota and Wisconsin area also. Look at the reflectivity. Here's the reflectivity for today, guys. So starting up in the afternoon hours in Minnesota, and eventually becoming a line. This discrete cell right here looks like it poses the big tornado threat. The big tornado threat, guys, for today is for the cells that can get isolated or when the cells are first starting up. Some other cells starting up here in the afternoon time. Some pretty strong cells at 22Z UTC time. This is at around 5 p.m. It does become a line by around 7 p.m. It does become a line of storms. And the main threat is wind and hail. But then by around 9 to 10 a.m. 9 to 10 p.m. These storms do weaken a lot. This line does weaken. Then it just mostly when it hails threat, the tornado threat goes down significantly. Let's look at the Cape though real quick. Here's the Cape for today, guys. Some decent Cape numbers for today. About 2,000, 3,000. Some 3,700 Cape, so pretty high Cape in Minnesota. So definitely enough storm fuel. Look at the bulk shear though. This is the bulk shear for today, guys. So you can definitely see some high shear numbers in Minnesota. Definitely enough shear for these storms today. Shear basically is kind of the conditions for a rotating updraft. You need about 40 plus for a good rotating updraft. Here is how we can see for the cold front today, guys. Definitely about a mid-level cold front today. So definitely a front to push through cap on these storms. So today, guys, looks like mostly a wind and hail threat today. Tornado threat is still possible. There is still a chance for tornadoes when the storms first start off, and also when there is a line, if storms can get isolated from that line, they can also produce tornadoes. There's one thing I want to look at real quick, guys. I want to show you guys what we are looking at with the possible tropical storm or Hurricane Dexter soon. But let's go look that out. Let's go check that out. Here's what we're seeing for the possible tropical storm. This is the Google ICON model. The other models are still catching up with it. Some of them have caught up with it now. But it is looking like it may be a strong tropical storm or a hurricane if it can stay west longer. See, it thinks that it will develop again by around Wednesday. Some states may get the outer bands. States like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana may get the outer bands. And it looks like it will officially make landfall, though. It thinks by Friday or Thursday in Louisiana near Texas area. It will make landfall as either a strong tropical storm or hurricane is what it's thinking due to this low pressure system. Some decent low pressure system numbers. So most likely will be a strong tropical storm or hurricane, weak hurricane, if it can develop after it passes through Florida. It's currently still passing through Florida. So far, this model has been the most accurate. It has the most accurate with what's been happening with the storm so far. So I'm watching this closely. I also most likely will be live today, guys, covering the enhanced risk and 2% tornado risk today. If some strong storms start up, most likely we'll cover it. I will have live chasers on stream. So if you guys are in any risk zones today, I most likely will be live. Make sure you guys like, subscribe with notifications, and follow if you see this on TikTok. I also may cover this tropical storm or hurricane if it makes landfall. I also may do more of a forecasting live when it is closer for today, later today on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure you guys follow on X, you subscribe on YouTube, and follow on TikTok. Thank you all for watching.